This isn't fake news. Kamala Harris was just on TV. I watched her say that transgender surgeries for inmates is a priority for her and that it's life-saving for these inmates. These are the inmates she's talking about. I'm done.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Charlamagne the simp. Okay, now this guy was previously stomping for Sleepy Joe, even though this guy's like 5.5 feet in the grave. He was stomping for him, and then he stomped even harder for Kamala Harris all the way back in 2019 when she came out talking about she was blackity black. Black. Now, obviously, for those who know, she is Irish mixed with Indian, but, you know, a lot of people don't do research, so they just don't care. They keep pulling up this ridiculous photo of her grandmother who was dead before Kamala Harris was even born, but that's an aside for those who actually know what the hell they're talking about. But anyway, guys, Charlamagne was impressed because Kamala Harris is getting cooked by Donald Trump in commercials that are playing during football games, where he demonstrates that Kamala Harris had previously supported transgender surgeries for illegal migrants in prison. Okay, you cannot make this stuff up. Now, I've talked about this on the channel before, but I'm going to say this again for those who didn't quite catch that. You cross the border illegally. Most likely, a man crossing the border illegally, they go to prison because they're some sort of convicted criminal either previously or during this current administration time. They commit crimes here, they go to jail. They're like, I want to transition. I want to be in the women's prison. I'm in the wrong body, right? They do this. Kamala Harris like, okay. And then she just throws a bunch of money at them. Veterans starving in the street, nah, who cares? People dying of Hurricane Helene, it doesn't really help me politically, says Kamala. But you know what does help me politically? Transgender surgeries for illegal migrants. Charlamagne the simp had to admit that this doesn't look good for lying, cackling, comrade, wannabe black Kamala Harris. Let's get into it.
I do have thoughts on the fact that a lot of that stuff that, you know, that the vice president is saying, man, she need to be saying it during football games. Because I'll tell you what, that ad they was running during the football games this weekend claiming the vice president supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the U.S., that was nuts.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I don't know if it was.
I wouldn't say nuts, but that was crazy.
That was funny.
I don't know if it was the backdrop of football. But when you hear the narrator say Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, that one line, I was like, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
I definitely said that. She did.
That ad was...
Hey, it sounds to me like it's time to vote for Trump. And what do you mean claiming that that's what she does? Kamala Harris is on record. She's on video saying this.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
Right. A client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, right. Of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
And has been caught in writing saying that she supports this because she was out in Wokety Woke, California.
A K-file investigation
has uncovered, meantime, a 2019 questionnaire. And in this questionnaire, Harris laid out some much more liberal stances.
And this was a questionnaire that she filled out for the ACLU. And this questionnaire is really an interesting snapshot in time of that 2019 Democratic primary. Kamala Harris was trying to get to the left of Bernie Sanders. She was trying to get to the left of Elizabeth Warren, and you really see that in a lot of these answers. And I want to walk our viewers through a little bit of what she said. Let's just take immigration and look at what she said here. She said on immigration, she made this open-ended pledge to end immigrant detention. She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she supported
taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She actually said she supported that.
She both wrote and answered in the affirmative when she was asked this. Oh. And she said she also supported it for federal prisoners. Now, she also pledged to slash immigration detention by 50%, close all family and private facilities, and decrease funding for ICE, and then the end ICE detainers with local law enforcement.
I mean, these are things that, you know, it would be hard to think that you would come up with taxpayer funding gender transitions for detained migrants, and yet this, as you say, written and verbally.
And this is what she thought that they wanted. That's why they call her the chameleon, Kamala, because she's like an animal. She's like a transformer. She just shape shifts and contorts into whatever the hell she feels like is gonna get her elected. Okay, but at the end of the day, there's no way to know what she truly supports. Like, what's behind the veil? When you take the mask off, who the hell is this person behind the mask? As far as I can tell, is just an effing asshole. That's all I can tell, is a power-hungry little B word. I'm just keep it real with y'all guys.
Bitch.
Let's keep going.
Effective.
Kamala took a picture with a transgender. And it was this what they were saying that it made.
That ad was effective.
Kamala took a picture with a transgender. And it was this what they were saying that it made it seem like Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money. That's what it came across.
Yeah, isn't that what they're saying?
It literally said that Kamala.
Why are they talking about this as if it's fiction, guys? Like Kamala Harris. Okay.
Supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, and it talks about how she supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the United States. That ad was impactful. It was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn.
Was it because it was during football?
Yes.
I think it was because it was during football.
But then last week, like the contrast of it.
Yes.
But then last week they had the same thing running on Tim Walsh and said he likes tampons in boys' bathrooms.
I would not have paid that. I don't think I would have paid that commercial no attention if it was any other time. But when you're watching football and you just what the hell? In between beer commercials, they give you this?
Okay, well.
Look, wait a minute. Hold on a sec, guys. Hold on a sec. There you go. Got an extra for you, Charlamagne. Go ahead and put this mug on real quick. Okay? Because it sounds to me like you already know what to do. Guys, this stuff is not new. This has been going on. This stuff has been going on for years now. It started during Obama's administration. Well, probably before that, but the whole gay marriage thing was during Obama's administration, and it's only progressed and gotten crazier and crazy. They got new holidays. They taking over the White House, taking an American flag up and putting in another like a freaking pride flag. All of this stuff with the schools and the sports, and it's gotten ridiculous. You didn't notice, Charlamagne? Like, are you asleep at the wheel or something? Because if you hadn't noticed, whole different groups of people are taking over America. It's becoming wokey woke, a bunch of LGBTQIA plus minus binary, gender fluid, all kinds of ridiculous stuff, and a bunch of illegal migrants coming in who already don't respect America. They don't respect black people, certainly. There is some issues with the black community, and a lot of people are going to have very negative perceptions, in some cases rightfully so, about the black community. So, yeah, these are the people that's taking over America. It's all of this stuff, blackity black, with her pretending to be black, it's a ruse. It's fake. It's fraudulent. She's trying to trick everybody, and a lot of people are really, really dumb, trying to shame people like, you questioning my race, you're questioning my motives. Like, yeah, you damn right, we're questioning everything. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be skeptical. We're not supposed to take you at your word. Who the hell do you think you are, Kamala? I know who you are. You're a lying, fake, fraudulent, chameleon, communistic piece of garbage.
Will you support the decriminalization at the federal level of all drug possession for personal use? And Harris answers yes. Now, what would that mean? Well, it mean the federal all drug possession. That's not just marijuana, which she alluded to in her answer to this question, but it also would mean
it's federal level of all drug possession,
fentanyl, crack,
use. Yes.
Cocaine, things like that. Yeah.
I just watched the rest of this clip. That's apparently all that they had to say about it, because they probably don't want to make it like a negative advertisement for Kamala Harris. They, of course, want access to her. They want her to keep coming on their show, which, to be honest with you, I don't know if that's going to happen again. But Kamala Harris, at this point, has to be losing hope. It's really not looking good for her. The election is too close. And whenever it's this close, Republicans win. Okay, so Democrats going to have to find ways to get illegal migrants voting. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to pass bills to make a bunch of illegals legal prior to the election. I would not be surprised at anything at this point, because the Democrats are just obsessed with winning. And I honestly think that a lot of the voters on the Democrat side, they become so Trump deranged, they'd probably be happy about that. They don't care nothing about that ad and what Kamala has done that's bad. Like, to them, it's always going to be whatever the mainstream media is telling them to think, be it J6, be it dictator on day one, be it Trump wants to terminate the Constitution, whatever lies that they tell, find people on both sides. Project 2025, that's the big one. That's like got to be like the biggest lie of all. Like, all of it is ridiculous, but that's the biggest lie. Project 2025, he's going to take away everybody's rights. Like, these people are nuts. They're Looney Tunes, okay? They belong in mental institutions, those places where them illegal migrants are coming from, prisons, insane asylums, mental institutions. This is where a lot of these radical leftist people belong. The TDS is out of control. Okay, the liars definitely belong in some sort of prison for lying and deceiving. There should be some sort of crime for lying your ass off and deceiving millions of people across America and even the world. I feel like there should be some sort of punishment for this, but I mean, it is a slippery slope, free speech, but that's crazy that you're just kind of just allowed to just lie and fool and trick anybody that you want. But the clock is ticking, time is running out, and it looks like her punishment is going to come on November 5th and on January 20th when Donald Trump is reined in and formally made to be our president of the United States. Kamala Harris, what the hell job is she going to get after she's fired as vice president? And maybe she could ask for her job back at McDonald's. That is, if she actually has any references that she could go back to, because rumor has it that she never worked there. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
What does Kamala Harris actually believe? Kamala backs taxpayer-funded sex change procedures for minors. She supports men competing in girls' sports. Kamala even supports transgender surgeries for violent criminals.
I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
She's not just liberal, she's dangerously liberal.